I can't tell you how long this has been going on. This happened before I joined Steeltown Entertainment Project back in 2003. There was a summit held in Pittsburgh, an entertainment summit. It was put together by our co-founders, Kurlander, Ellen Weisskander, and Maxine Lapore.
It is 6 years in the making since Eric Gold called me and said, hey, Eric Gold's the guy who manages Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell, and Ellen DeGeneres. And
they had this vision that we could put together a filmmaking competition in Pittsburgh.
He said, hey, next time I'm in town, why don't you get some of these great people from Pittsburgh and invite your best writers. And what we're going to do is we're going to take their ideas, let them pitch it to us. We'll take the best ones and we'll develop those.
It gives our local and expatriate entertainment professionals a chance to work with the local talent here to really identify, incubate, and invest in projects that we can export into the rest of the world. And this is our very first official event to kick that off. It's called the Film Factory, and it's two things. It's a filmmaking competition. The submission application process opens today online at steeltownfilmfactory.org, and it's available through December 31st. This is the kickoff event. Today's topic is getting started. Where do good ideas, great scripts, and talented filmmakers come from? I want to introduce one of our co-founders, a guy who's had these great ideas, these great connections, full of energy and vision, and going to be our moderator for today. Kurlander, as you know, is our executive producer. He last year premiered his film My Tale of Two Cities at the Pittsburgh 250 Homecoming weekend. He's known for being the screenwriter of Seeing Elmo Inspire. Please give it up, Kurlander.
In Pittsburgh, I had no idea how the movie business worked. And looking out at your faces, you know, the movie business has become much more accessible. Everybody can see all the behind-the-scenes things and read the box office, but how the process works is really what we're going to talk about today. What was the seminal moments that led you to say, I have to be a screenwriter and then I can do this?
I think it was the concept of being a director or a writer-director came first. And all throughout school, as high school and college where I studied psychology, which was a huge help with the writing later. I would always make films whenever I could.
In high school, I went to Alderdice, and I started realizing that I was into making movies or wanted to, but I was never a camera person or anything else. So when it came time to apply into colleges, I saw, and I had terrible grades, but I saw that NYU you could get in basically by writing a writing sample. So I was like, I'll take a shot at that. And I got in, and NYU was great, and any writing program is great because it's an excuse to write. You don't have to work, you don't have to do anything else but write screenplays. I took advantage of that, and I was the kid everybody hated because I was the lucky one who sold a script out of my dorm room.
I wrote a lot of bad screenplays, and finally, when I came to Pitt, I started really concentrating on what I was writing more, like starting to write more personal stories. I had this before I came to college class. I had come up with the idea for my script for Palau Rain, which was about an AIDS orphan, and I wrote the whole outline in one sitting, but then I put it away because I really didn't want to start writing on it unless I really could frame it and format it the right way, and that's wanting to write that story made me try harder.
But when was the first time you actually, were exposed to writing screenplays? Was that in film school, and was there a book or something that said to you, or did you read some scripts and go, hey, I think I can do this?
Well, there were some books I found helpful, Vogler, Anthology, and McKee's Story. It just is something that takes quite a bit of time, I think, to get, at least for me and some others, to get the hang of it. But the choke is, I still have tons and tons to learn, and every time you start out.
I always like reading personal stories of screenwriters. I always find that inspiring. There's a book out there that I've read a couple times called, it's got a bad title, it's like 101 Tips of Highly Successful Screenwriters or something. But what I liked about it is they asked them specific questions to things I'm fascinated about, like how do you spend your day, to how do you go about revising and everything else. And it's short, but I always found hearing or seeing those things very helpful.
For years, I just struggled writing for different theaters off of Broadway, and was nominated for a lot of awards for my plays, and so I started getting these calls that I should turn my plays into screenplays. I had to learn to cut back on dialogue and make everything very terse, and you don't use a word that doesn't matter, and and that's what I learned in theater.